You're listening to Let's Talk. Let's Talk is a digital space for students at PCC experiencing disabilities to share their perspectives, ideas, and worldviews in an inclusive and accessible environment. The views and opinions expressed in this program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the opinions or positions of Portland Community College, PCC Foundation, or our community partners. We broadcast on our home website, pcc.edu/DCA, on Spotify, on X-Ray 91.1 FM and 107.1 FM, and KBOO Community Radio 90.7 FM.
Hello, everybody. My name is Ricardo Bravo, here with the Let's Talk PCC Podcast Collective, and today I'm joined by my good friend and guest, Mr. Whiteman.
Hey, guys.
And basically, we're adding a new addition to the podcast called The Rap Sheet, and for our first episode, me and Gabe are going to be talking about the best seasonal rap and R&B albums that you should be listening to right now. So yeah, without further ado, let's get started. Do you want to go first?
I can go first, yeah. Why not?
Yeah, definitely, man.
I have a couple, but after that, I could probably just name some Tyler the Creator's Chromacopia album for the fall. I think that's a very solid pick for the fall. It hits all those notes, and maybe it's also because it came out in October.
Is there like maybe certain songs, production choices that he took on that album that remind you of like, okay, this is fall?
The album as a whole is pretty good, and there's some songs that are definitely not fall. Thought I Was Dead is not a fall song. It's more of like a gets your blood going, and it kind of just gets you hyped. As far as like fall goes, I would probably say some of his softer songs where it's more like acoustic, Hey Jane or Judge Judy. Like it's...
You took me. No, it's fine. Keep on going. I was like, why would you say that? Just because I recently told you about it?
Oh, I've been listening to it, and honestly, I can see where you're going. It's his softer melodies that are definitely fall vibes. If you're listening to like a fall album, you can't go too harsh with it. He has some very good fall songs on the album.
There's probably a couple of songs that I could talk about. Hey Jane, that's obviously one of them. Just how calming and how soothing it is, from like the bridges in the end that kind of go like the way that kind of carries throughout the entire song. Very soothing melodies. He's a great producer, honestly.
Each album is definitely improved. His album hasn't been going downhill at all. His music has been going up.
You could probably also talk about, aside from Hey Jane, maybe Darling I, but then when I hear that song, to me it feels like you're going to prom with somebody. It feels like a prom song. Maybe it's the piano melodies, the bouncy synths that go back and forth in the beginning. I Hope You Find Your Way Home could maybe make that.
Honestly, I think that fits that category for sure.
I think to me when it comes to Chromacopia, there's like certain songs that I'm looking at that's like, okay, this is fall. But for the rest of the other songs, Sticky, Thought I Was Dead, A Balloon, these are more party anthems, more energy.
Honestly, I think you pretty much covered it. Just like looking at the album cover, I know there's a concept, colors and everything, but the album cover itself just gives all vibes. It just has like those colors which are soft, they're mellow. I think it's just a good fall album. Like you were saying, it does have those songs that aren't really fall. They're more like a anthem, like Sticky and Thought I Was Dead and Balloon, stuff like that.
When it comes to Tyler, I don't think he ever holds back. When I listen to him, like I listen to Kendrick or even Ye, they have variety when it comes to their music. It's almost like you're going to a buffet. There's just different types of plates for everybody, different sounds, different pockets. You got Chromacopia, which is good.
Yeah.
Talk about Flower Boy. This album specifically, because for me, I was getting into Tyler's music last year. I was kind of like, well, what do I actually want to listen to? Who do I want to listen to? So I didn't have a lot of curiosity on like getting into this guy. Well, I mean, I'm not sure if I want to get into him. I don't know if his music's going to be good, right? A couple years passed by, and then I finally get into him last year. And I got to this album in the fall, a month before he was going to drop Chromacopia. I've heard a lot of great albums this year, but this album is beautiful. This, to me, is his best album. I know a lot of people are going to say, Igor, I understand you. I don't care. Flower Boy is his best album. Everything from the album cover is just screaming fall at you. This like sunset orange sky. You have the sunflower field, the rainbow. This is a fall album. Songs like Boredom, Garden Shed with Estelle, 911. The production on these songs, they're screaming fall at you. I remember listening to Boredom when I was working like at Amazon, still in the fall last year. And this song was playing and I'm like looking at the sunset because I was like in a rural area. Just seeing the sunset and then hearing this song and of course the album cover. Honestly, one of the best fall albums that I've heard, at least in my opinion.
You did a pretty good job covering everything. The album art, itself is really good, especially with like, these clouds. And he picked like a very specific shade of orange that is just like a fall picture. Outside of that, it has a very good track list and gets you feeling like the fall moods. See You Again, I know is an obvious pick because like I think that was like one of his hit singles. It's still such a good song. 911 is good, and Took Mine Boredom is a really good one. Outside of like the fall vibes, it has a very stacked track list. There, as far as like features go, the features are insane. Even right now on Apple Music, it's named as 100 of the best albums ever. And I think it deserves that title. I know you're gonna throw some shade at me, but I think Igor is better. But that's just me. That's just me. That's just me.
Yeah, Igor is another album that I mess with as well. This is not really a fall album. Again, this is like prom music. I'm listening to a song like Running Out of Time, Earthquake, I think, Gone Gone. They just have this disco ball-esque production. You know what I mean?
I can definitely see that, especially with Running Out of Time or like Are We Still Friends?
Running Out of Time.
I think has a
Running Out of Time.
dude.
I love
It's
that
such a
hook.
good
It's
melody.
such a good hook, though. Yeah. For Igor, though, I still think it's an amazing album. My favorite season is fall, so I already have a bias towards Flower Boy. But Igor is great. I mean, he definitely went more alternative with this. He kind of described it best one time. He said that Igor is like Flower Boy on steroids.
Yeah, I could see it.
Yeah, because it's not a fall album to me. I think it's more like a late night summer album. But I don't know. How do you feel on it? Because I'm not sure what season this could be.
I would honestly say summer album. I'm a little biased on that just because what you had with Flower Boy is what I had with Igor. For instance, my dad listened to a lot of rock music, so I had basically listened to a lot of rock music growing up. Once I was end of middle school, starting high school, I started trying to actually listen to what I like and see what music I like. And so that's when I got into some of the bigger artists like Drake, Travis Scott, Kendrick Lamar. But then Igor just came out. I started getting into Tyler. And this was his first project I listened to. Just with like Igor's theme as a first track, just the synth ease you into the album, I really fell in love with this album. I think it's one of his perfect projects. He does get really experimental with it. I just remember listening to this album. I think it was like my computer class I was taking in high school. Towards like the end of spring term of high school, listening to it while I was doing my work, and it was just like the perfect work music, perfect summer music. Such a good album. It's such a good album. Any fan like you talk to and you ask them what's your favorite album of his, every single person is either going to say Igor or Flower Boy. It's not even a debate. Just some of his best works ever.
We're still on fall though.
There is one that I do want to talk about that is like the embodiment of fall. I don't know if I'll take your answer at all, but I was going to go with Lost Boy by Corday. I know I was talking with you a little bit about between this one and then his album that he released last year, The Crossroads. I listened to this one the other day, and you're right, The Lost Boy clears. It's a perfect fall album. It's one of the best fall albums you could listen to.
There's definitely some songs that offer an alternative to that. I mean, you listen to like Lost and Found, Nightmares Are Real, We Gon' Make It with Meek Mill, R&P. These are like summer bangers in a way, but at the same time, he does a good job of blending that summer vibe with that fall vibe. Because then I hear like Thanksgiving, Wintertime, 1,000 Words. Just the way these songs feel. They're really melodic. He's a decent singer. He hits those melodies so well to the point where I can picture that Thanksgiving table. I can picture that turkey, that stuffing, you know, those collard greens, the pumpkin pie. He did a really good job with those songs on really, you could say, setting the table if we're talking about Thanksgiving.
You honestly just took the words right out of me. It's like one of the better fall albums because it really embodies that later time in fall, that transition from like fall into winter. So it's like Thanksgiving area, especially with the track Thanksgiving. Like when I was listening to that, I can close my eyes and I can picture people setting the table for Thanksgiving, having the song on in the background, like while you're eating Thanksgiving would be the perfect way to see everything being served and just enjoying people around you. Like it is one of the better songs for sure.
And it's kind of unfortunate because I feel like he's so underrated. People kind of put him in this box, oh, he's just another J. Cole. And they didn't really give him enough time to actually affirm his position as like, no, I mean, I'm if anything one of the more better modern rappers of this generation. generation, yeah, if anything.
I would honestly say the same thing. I think he's definitely underrated and he has a lot of connections with rap in general. When news broke out that Juice World passed away, Corday was hit the hardest because he was honestly like one of his best friends of everyone. So it hit him the hardest. And I think that right there really shows that people almost overlook him, even though they shouldn't, but they do. Everybody needs to give him a shot because he's a really, really good artist.
Magic. This to me is a perfect winter album. Have you listened to this one?
I've listened to a few tracks, but not the whole thing.
We're talking about the production. I mean, you can go Speechless, Hollywood Gangsta, Wave Gods. The production feels like the winter in New York.
I could see it.
And I would say Magic is a decent winter album.
I wouldn't say it'd be like the perfect winter album, but definitely up there. I think it's definitely good to just kind of get into that wintertime mood, especially with kind of ending with Thanksgiving and coming up to Christmas and the snowy nights.
For the winter, now that we're on that season, what rap/R&B album do you think is perfect?
I have a couple listed. Certified Lover Boy by Drake. Hear me out. And I was even see what other people were saying about winter albums, and I did see one person say that this album, and I'm like, I don't know. I've been listening to it a lot, and I could see it. Champagne Poetry, it has that like that soft melody, it has that vocal loop going in the background, and he raps his ass off in the track. Yeba's Heartbreak. I've been listening to that like on repeat lately too. And I can see this being on repeat in the wintertime because Yeba killed it on that track. I know a lot of people hate on this album.
You're one of them.
You know, I'm switching up on this album. I'm starting to like it.
What?
Yeah. I was always that person to hate on this album just because of just everything about it. But take off like a couple songs to reduce it down to, I don't know, 15 tracks, and I would say this is a very, very solid album. Not every track on here is a winter song, but there is some, like, especially with like Fair Trade, it's not the ideal winter song, but one of the most perfect melodies I've heard out of his catalog. The winter melody to it, except for Travis Scott, he kind of doesn't really match that vibe, but it just has like those softer songs.
When this came out, it was summer. A lot of the songs definitely reminded me of like that late night summer vibe, just chilling by the beach. I'll get into that when we get to the summer season. All right, but we're still on winter, man. Speaking of Drake, if we're going to talk about any album being the perfect winter album, we're going to talk about Take Care. His best album by far. I'm talking about you don't agree with me.
No, I mean definitely top 3 albums, but I'm more of a Nothing Was the Same guy.
You're more of a summer guy then.
Yeah.
You don't like the cold winter.
No, I like fall and winter, but summer hits different.
There's certain songs that made me, when I first listened to it, I'm like, yeah, this is definitely a winter album. The beautiful piano keys on Over My Dead Body, Marvin's Room, that mellow synth, you know, it's like snow falling outside by the fireplace, drink some hot cocoa, watching a movie, cuddled up in your blankets. Songs like that reminded me of, this is definitely a winter album. Doing It Wrong, Look What You've Done, Practice. And the way he hits these R&B pockets throughout all these songs, this is just a type of album that you could literally get cuddled up in a blanket with your partner and like fall asleep to.
Definitely one of his best albums for sure. There's like some songs that I'm kind of like not really thinking that's a winter vibe, like Crew Love, The Weeknd's vocals.
What you me for.
And The Weeknd has like those vocals that I think definitely do that, but the beat that has like a party kind of clubbing type beat, nah. Oh no, a hard beat, good song, but I think that kind of takes it out a little bit. Maybe Buried Alive interlude, good song, but kind of takes it out. Other than that, I think it definitely has some hitters. Marvin's Room was a very good pick. Very good winter song.
A lot of these songs were from The Weeknd. Like he gave him basically an album full of songs.
Some are arguing that it wasn't and he was just featured a lot, or some were saying that it was, but listening to the album, I could see it being a lot of Weeknd songs given to him.
You know, certain songs feel like Crew Love, just those, you know, moody R&B synths, similar to something that you would hear on Trap Soul for Bryson, or just R&B in general. During this time, you know, The Weeknd, he was on his mixtape run with like the Thursday albums, and I definitely do hear that production style from his music onto this album.
Definitely a good winter album for sure.
It is,
And
yeah.
it's another one that's named 100 best albums of all time. It's a very good album.
Like the main reason why The Weeknd and Drake had beef in the first place was because Drake was mad that The Weeknd decided to not sign to OVO and instead start his own EXO label.
I gotta say, I could see the potential if he did sign to OVO, but I'm kind of glad he didn't. Just because of everything that's been going on, I follow a lot of the rap news, all the events, especially with Drake right now, just with UMG as a whole. They're kind of terrible record company. I'm kind of glad he didn't because I think The Weeknd would be more controlled with his music. I think he wouldn't be as creative, and I don't think his catalog would be as good if he did sign because then he would be under UMG, and I feel like his music would be drastically different.
We're still on the topic of winter albums. I have to also talk about one of Ye's classic albums, 808s
I
and
know.
Heartbreak.
Yep, I knew you were gonna
Yeah.
bring that one up.
You know, when this album came out, a lot of people didn't like it because of the auto tune, but they were not listening to this album. They weren't listening to, even just what he was going through during this time, from his mother passing away, the Taylor Swift situation. This entire album is a winter album, really. But specific songs, Bad News, Welcome to Heartbreak, Say You Will. In terms of production, probably the most iconic production styles in Ye's catalog, easily. But also just the way these songs feel. Like, he really did a good job on making you feel like I'm in pain right now and everything's cold, everything is sad, depressing. Like, he really pulled you into this album. Honestly, I have not gone back to this album at all. I can't listen to a song like Streetlights.
I remember I've listened to this album maybe once, but I haven't gone back to it because kind of like the same situation with Mac Miller going on. They release new albums, which like they end up being good, but I can't go back to them because of just how serious they are. And even though I have my own thoughts on him as an artist, he does do a good job with his music.
But I remember hearing like Streetlights for the first time. And I remember seeing a TikTok of like somebody posted and it said songs that I can go back and listen to. Streetlights
Yeah.
is one of them. It's such an amazing song. It's probably one of the best on this album, in my opinion, because of just the way it feels. And I can really picture him vividly in the car, like passing all the lights, just feeling super bummed, super sad. Everything from the hook. Feels like streetlights glowing, happen to be just like moments.
Even has a song called Coldest Winter. I think that speaks for itself. Good album to jam to in the winter, but not a bad winter album. For Your Eyes Only by J. Cole.
For me, that always felt like a spring album to me, though.
I could see it. I listened
Makes
to a
sense.
little bit of the album again. I think just because maybe it has like that mellow vibe. Neighbors, for instance, has a very just relaxed beat. I could see it during winter. That's on the mixed side. I don't know if that would be a total winter album.
I can see it. When I listened to this album, it was the springtime for me. I was like in my junior year of high school when I was getting into J. Cole. The song that made me feel like it's more for spring definitely Change with Ari Lennox.
That one was good.
Song. If we're talking about winter for Your Eyes Only, I would probably say She's Mine Part 1, For Your Eyes Only, the title track. Immortal,
That's a good one.
in a way. For Whom the Bell Tolls. Yeah, those songs definitely feel like cold. It's snowing outside. He touches on very heavy subject matter, especially in the last song, For Your Eyes Only. It's one of the best off this album.
Even a lot of people outside of Forest Drive, a lot of people say that's his second best is For Your Eyes Only, which I can definitely see.
We can probably talk about spring though, because there's definitely some songs that make me feel like, okay, the flowers are blooming. We're getting into that summer season, but not quite yet. I definitely have to talk about Scissors Control. I mean, aside from the album cover, she's sitting in a pretty grassy area, but there's a couple of songs that make me feel like, okay, the girls are getting their sundresses out. The sun's coming back. Flowers are blooming. Supermodel, Prom, The Weeknd, Garden, Normal Girl, 20-something. This whole album is amazing.
Yeah.
Front to back, classic R&B album. But those songs specifically, Prom has these very bouncy synths that kind of start off, carry you throughout the entire song. Or even just 20-something where she's talking about vulnerability and like still being young and not finding love in a way. It's almost like vulnerable and sad, but at the same time I can just envision myself having a picnic with a girl sitting in a big open like green field. Flowers are blooming basically.
I can definitely see it. It definitely gives off that feeling and that vibe. You can definitely see it being like a summer album, but I can even see it being a spring album. Even like the album art within itself is definitely on the summer side, but it's even on the spring where like he's into like the warmer clothes, you're just kind of like relaxing and you're kind of just sitting by like the water like is on like the Rainbow Dock. That's like spring vibes. Even then, he has some really powerful and good performances like Range Brothers with Kendrick Lamar.
Into the summer part of this episode.
Mm-hmm.
So for this one, I do have a couple. And Drake's Nothing Was the Same. And you have a lot of heavy hitters on here. That's straight summer vibe. Tuscan Leather is a great example of that. The way he comes in rapping gets you super hyped up, super energetic, and it just kind of feels like you're riding in like a lowrider in LA or something. And of course, there's Worst Behavior, Started from the Bottom. The Hold On, We're Going Home. This to me is like more like evening summer vibe. You're on a yacht on the beach.
Mm-hmm.
The sun is setting. The smooth melodies Drake tends to hit. 305 to My City. In this one, he has these very energetic, hungry R&B and rap performances that I think like not only just elevated this album to like this is more of a summer album experience. Even just looking at the cover, I mean, he's got his head in the clouds. You see mostly blue skies. And talking about late night songs, I mean, From Time, Furthest Thing. The beautiful piano melodies of From Time. Drake telling this whole story of, oh man, this girl that I used to be in love with and how we're growing distant now. And then Janae comes in with her beautiful R&B vocals.
Definitely one of the more underrated artists for sure.
And it's tough though because like, everybody's always talking about SZA, Summer Walker, Rihanna. In terms of R&B, I guess you could say.
Since you brought up Nothing Was the Same, I wanted to bring up another classic, another legendary album, Kid Mad City by Kendrick.
I never really
That's true.
thought of it as a whole as like this is a summer album. But there's certain songs that, yeah, for sure.
The album art itself, or at least the deluxe version, where it has the van on like the sidewalk and on Blue Sky Day, like that picture itself is for other things, other stories within the album. But as far as like the season goes, that is a good picture of a summer hot day. Just want something to cool you off, like eating a popsicle on like the sidewalk or something like that.
Money
where it's
Trees
like,
is a perfect example of that.
exactly, yeah. No, definitely not a summer song, but an honorable mention. I love Art of Peer Pressure. That has a very, very interesting story and relatable to me. So I think that's a very, very good song. I mean, another two that I would say summer songs is Mad City and Swimming Pools.
I would say Swimming Pool is more like that late night college party where you're drinking yourself. I recently got into it actually, and I've told you about it as well. Anderson .Paak's Malibu. If you ever do get a chance to listen to it, I definitely do recommend This Season, Without You, Am I Wrong, Room in Here, baby, there's room in here. Like, just the melodies and pockets he hits through these songs and just the entire album in general, it really makes you feel like you literally are on the beach and the sunset's coming down. Like, I think he did a really good job on creating this summer sunset. Just, like, listen to the production and, like, the melodies he hits. And I'm telling you, I'm not lying. This is a perfect summer album.
I'm gonna have to listen to this then.
No, yeah, man.
That sounds like a really good album.
But it's almost like Flower Boy, but in a more summer concert experience.
You definitely hyped it up. I'm gonna have to add it to my list. Call Me If You Get Lost.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is about it, but like he definitely nailed the summer vibe with this one. There's so many tracks on here. Sweet is a good one. Juggernaut is a good hype song.
I still go back to it here and there. Still songs that pop up on my playlist, like Hot Wind Blows with Wayne.
That one's a good one.
And of course, Juggernaut, Safari. A lot, really, but one that's always popping up, I swear. Every time I put my playlist on shuffle, I always get Wilshire to pop up every single time.
Interesting pick that always pops up.
It's a great story. It really has me hooked throughout the entire 8 minutes.
Yeah.
I'm talking about, oh, I met this girl. Our eyes met. Don't think nobody noticed. Just kind of talking about having her in his car, sharing music, him going on a date with some other actress, but him wanting to go back to this girl. And then finding out that this girl actually had a boyfriend as well, but they were still seeing each other. But Astroworld. Even when it dropped and even before I got into Travis, a lot of people were saying that it's still one of his best albums and most iconic in his discography. And now I know why. It's very good, yeah. I still have songs popping up on my playlist from this. Definitely Yosemite.
Oh, yep. That one's a good one.
Chosen, I'm coming and going.
So good. There's other ones like 5% Tint. There's not a single song on here where I'm like, that one kind of sucked. Like all of these are fire. Personally, I think I like the bottom three as like good closing tracks. Butterfly Effect was good.
Yeah.
Hughes to Fornication was really good. People aren't really crazy on Coffee Bean, but I liked it.
Yeah,
I think it's a
though.
good closing track. I honestly have nothing else to say about this album. It's a good summer album.
Thank you so much for watching this special Let's Talk Podcast Collective. Once again, I am your host, Ricardo Bravo. And thank you so much, Gabe, for being a part of this first episode of The Rap Sheet.
Not a problem. It was nice to be here.
Thank you for listening to Let's Talk, Portland Community College's broadcast about disability culture. Find more information and resources concerning this episode and others at pcc.edu/DCA. This episode was produced by the Let's Talk Podcast Collective as a collaborative effort between students, the Accessible Education and Disability Resources Department, and the PCC Multimedia Department. We are new episodes on our home website, our Spotify channel, X-Ray 91.1 FM and 107.1 FM, and KBOO Radio 90.7 FM.